All right, guys, well, we're going to go ahead and perform a crawl space inspection for the buyers. I'm going to go ahead and show you some tips if you're considering buying a home, or if you're just in your home and you want to know what the heck's going on underneath your crawl space so you don't get any surprises. Give you some tips what to look for. Let's go ahead and let's dive under there and see what's going on. All right, here we go, guys. So first thing we're looking at right now is the gas pipe. We're also looking at the wood understructure to see if there's any mold growth. So far, this house here was built in the 70s. So as we're looking at the substructure here, it's nice and clean. And again, the gas pipe, which is made of black iron, still in really good shape. So let's go ahead and continue further. We're also looking to look at the soil too to see if it's wet or damp. The crawl space actually smells pretty good. It doesn't have that musty odor smell. So let's go ahead and continue further here. See if we could find anything that's might be a issue or an issue in the future. All right, so as we turn a corner here, you can see that we've got a massive amount of dryer lint that's building up. This is a big fire hazard. As you can see, it's on the wood. Big no-no, it's on the dirt as well. All right, so you can see it's just dumping right out of here. We don't like using this flexible stuff underneath the crawl space. Bad for the dryer, doesn't flow out. We like using the steel pipe, so we're gonna note that on the inspection report. All right, so here's a kitchen sink waste pipe. You can see it's covered in that dryer lint here. But right here, right off the bat, let me wipe this down so you can get a better visual. That fitting right there is called a 2-inch Santee. This is not made to be laying horizontally. It's made to be in a wall on a vertical. And the reason why is because it just doesn't have the neck for a horizontal sewer pipe, so it's harder to clean. So this needs to be replaced with a 2-inch combi. All right, let's continue the inspection. All right, guys, so as you can see, we've got copper going into a galvanized riser. That's potentially going to be an issue later on. We don't like these type of unions. It's supposed to stop the electrolysis, but it actually does the reverse. It collects a bunch of compaction with rust because of these two metals. So Twin Home Experts always recommends using a brass nipple, at least 5 inches or 6 inches long, with a copper female adapter. So this is going to be noted as well, that this is potentially an issue later on. All right, you can see noticeable difference between clean soil to this dark, grimy soil here. Definitely got an issue. It might be a sewer pipe. Let's crawl back a little further. Cast iron pipe is the original. Sometimes they wear out at the very bottom, and that's probably the case here. All right, let's go back a little further and see what we can find. All right, guys, this is an issue. This is the actual electrical ground. So when they did the copper plumbing, they didn't properly secure the ground to the cold water pipe. As you can see, it's just flopping around. Very dangerous. That does need to be secured directly, clamped onto a pipe. We may have some poria here, guys. That's the fungus that eats and deteriorates wood. That's no good. All right, so another reason why home inspection is very, very, very important is because when you move in and something happens, you didn't get the right professionals to do a proper inspection, it could backfire. Right now, we're dealing with a young couple who just purchased a home. They moved in it for a week. Rains came in and water just came in different parts of the home. You can see that the drywall had been patched up previously, but it was never disclosed. So the disclosure statement, really read the fine print in that. That really will protect you once you move in. So if the previous homeowners or the seller didn't document or line item out all the issues inside the home, it's going to fall back on the seller. So you as the buyer need to read that disclosure statement. Come on in, let me show you all the different areas that we're focusing on and pinpointing what the source is. We're going to document this to go back to the sellers and hopefully recoup some money. All right, so here we are in the living room. There was some obvious patching. You could see in this area here that this was patched up. Home inspector did not catch that. And then within our containment here is another big patch. So we're building a critical barrier just in case there's mold in here. And what we're gonna do is open up the ceiling here with an obvious, again, patch. As well as over here. Rain leak there that caused some damage. You can see the drywall there on the wall, an obvious previous patch as well. And then the baseboards directly below that were separating. So we're gonna go ahead now, open these areas up, do some mold air testing as well as leak detection. All right, so we went ahead and opened up this drywall due to a rain leak in this area here. That's for sure been there long term. As you can see, we've got mold on the drywall. This is a mold called Stachybotrys, which grows from leaks. So we're gonna go ahead and continue opening this up, and then we'll run some leak detection tests to determine where the breach is above this area. All right, guys, so that's what I love about my homemade leak detection. Got my little point in there. Laser pinpoints exactly any type of break. So watch this. All right, so what I did is I measured from the window to where our ceiling opening is in the bedroom. And it's actually about right here. So what we're gonna do is start about right here in this area here by turning on the water. And you can see that we're blasting water right above that area. Now, if I had a water hose, we'd be spreading water everywhere here, but this little tool pumps the water, pushes the water right in the area that we need to. Again, we've already started at the lowest point. We've worked our way up. All right, folks, well, hopefully those video footage offered some insight on how important it really is to get a good home inspector for your property here in Los Angeles. So what I wanted to do is offer a conclusion here with your home inspection. And that is, my recommendation is you might want to consider adding on and hiring individual licensed contractors. So a licensed plumber, a licensed roofer, a licensed window expert. Allow them to come in and determine what the issues are before you buy that home. The other great benefit with hiring an individual licensed contractor is they're able to put an estimate for the repairs. Saves a lot of time. Versus a home inspector, they're going to look at something and they're going to say, refer to a plumber. They're not going to be able to give you an estimated cost for that. Super important, because once you get these prices, you're able to go back to the sellers and hopefully get a refund. All right, the second tip here is hiring your own home inspector. You don't want to go through the real estate agent's home inspector. They're going to have their recommended home inspectors, which they'll probably do a decent job. But if you want that real home inspector that's going to give you the service and not really meant for the real estate agent, then you might want to consider hiring and finding a home inspector that's reputable. One that we can safely recommend is going to be Masa Inspection Group. This group here does a great job with their inspections, and the reason why is because they come from a general contracting background. They've actually been in the trenches and dealt with waterproofing, they've dealt with plumbing, structural, so they get what it really takes to get a good home inspection done. So consider going with Masa Inspection Group if you're looking for someone to do your home inspection. All right, and then last is make sure you read your disclosure statements. Remember in the video, if you remember all of the hidden areas that were not disclosed properly on that disclosure statement. So make sure you read the fine print. If you see something that's kind of vague, make sure you reach back out to the sellers and get a little bit more insight, because sometimes when things are vague, there's a lot more behind that. Well, folks, hopefully this helped give you a little bit more insight on home inspections here in Los Angeles. As always, thanks for watching. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button.